This is your task 2 essay. Mitigate, exacerbate, notwithstanding, exactly what the guide said. Band 6. How is that possible? You followed every Band 7 guide. What actually scored a 6? Here's the rule the guides missed. Band 7 isn't more, it's precise. Let me show you what that actually means in one sentence. Here's the one sentence straight from that essay. Read it. The excavation of finite natural resources has a deleterious effect on the environmental ecosystem. 14 words. What does it actually say? Watch what happens when we cut every word that isn't carrying its weight. Excavation of finite natural resources, gone. Has a deleterious effect on, gone. Environmental ecosystem, gone. What's left? Extracting finite natural resources has a lasting environmental impact. 9 words, same meaning, carried by words that fit. What you just watched has a name. It's written, word for word, in the public writing descriptors. Let me put the two next to each other. Band 6. Attempts to use less common vocabulary with some inaccuracy. That's the descriptor. That's what mitigate, exacerbate, notwithstanding were doing in your essay. Attempt plus inaccuracy. Band 7. Sufficient range to allow flexibility and precision with awareness of style and collocation. Not more range, enough range, used so it fits. That word, precision, it's the heart of what Band 7 is asking for. One sentence shows the principle, but you don't write sentences in task 2. You write paragraphs. So we do the same thing to the paragraph that sentence came from. Here it is, 3 sentences, 62 words. Sentence 1 we just did. That leaves sentence 2 and sentence 3. Watch. Sentence 1, already done, now sentence 2. This is where most Band 6 paragraphs start to come apart. Here it is on its own. 33 words, read it slowly. Count the ones that are actually telling you something new. Implemented various policy, that's just acted. In recent years, fillers out. It is my contention that, that's I believe. In addressing such problems, more filler stretching the sentence. The sentence was trying to say the government has acted, but individuals must also play a role. One sentence, complex structure kept, 11 words. Same pattern in sentence 3. Same problem, watch. Plethora of daily activities undertaken by citizens. 8 words to say what? Plethora of daily activities undertaken by citizens. That's what people do every day. Significant impact which cannot be underestimated. That's one idea said twice. Big impact. Full stop. Can't be underestimated adds nothing. What people do every day, travel, shopping, energy use, all adds up. Complex sentence still there, words that fit. Here's the diagnosis. In every Band 6 sentence we just looked at, the words didn't earn their place. They were reaching for range, they weren't fitting the meaning. Here's the rebuild of the whole paragraph. Same argument, same position, not harder words, words that fit. Sentence 1 you already saw, extracting finite natural resources has a lasting environmental impact. 9 words, done. Sentence 2, same position, start by naming the other side. Although the government has taken some action, one view acknowledged. Although, this word does a specific job. It names one view before turning to another. Grammar teachers call this a concessive clause, complex grammar used with control for the meaning, not for show. Individuals must also play a role because the way we travel, consume, and use energy directly shapes the outcome. One sentence, 2 complex structures, a concessive and a causal, both earning their place. Sentence 3, the cumulative effect of everyday choices. And here I open the sentence up to show you what that actually means. How people travel, what they buy, how much energy they use. 3 concrete things, what everyday choices actually refers to. Named, not hidden. Is considerable. Sentence 3, done. Notice the list, specific. The examiner can see exactly what I mean. No plethora, no hedging. That's the rewrite. Read it end to end against the Band 6 version. 62 words to 56. Not dramatically shorter. The point isn't fewer words. The point is every word now fits. Same argument, cleaner. Every word carrying work, not stretching for range. The examiner can follow every move you made. 3 words, each doing a job no other word could. Extracting, specific verb. Although, a complex structure held under control. Cumulative, a precise qualifier. Fit, flexibility, precision. 3 things happen. First, every word earned its place. That's what the Band 7 lexical resource descriptor is asking for. Sufficient range used with flexibility and precision, with awareness of style and collocation. Range that fits. Second, the grammar stayed complex where the idea needed it. The concessive clause is still there. The causal clause is still there. Third, each sentence stopped when it was done. No padding, no and. Flexibility and precision with style and collocation. That's the Band 7 lexical resource descriptor. Playing out on the page. One more thing, then we're done. Grammar. This is where most Band 6 students double down on the wrong move. The belief goes like this. Band 7 means more complex grammar. So you stack clauses, you add conditionals, you build longer sentences. Longer and more complex equals a higher score. That isn't what the descriptor says. Read it with me. Band 7 grammar. A variety of complex structures, frequent error-free sentences, good control. Notice what the descriptor does ask for. Variety and control, not more. Variety, control. 2 words doing the work in the Band 7 grammar descriptor. Here's a complex sentence without control. Although the government, which has been criticised by many environmental organisations that have been active for decades, has implemented policies that, in some cases, have been somewhat successful. By the end, I've lost the subject, so has the examiner. That's where the marks drop. Not because the grammar is complex, because the grammar lost control of the meaning. Same idea, with control. The government has been criticised by environmental groups for decades, full stop. Even so, some of its policies have worked. 2 sentences, a contrast and a concession. Complex ideas still there. The complexity sits inside sentences that close. That's control and variety landing together. Break a sentence when it's carrying 2 ideas, not simpler grammar, cleaner grammar. Still complex, still varied, still under control. One last thing before we wrap up. Your writing score comes from 4 criteria. We've been inside 2 today. The other 2, task response and coherence, live in the next video. They matter. They're not what we fix in this one. For today, these 2 are enough. Vocabulary wants precision and fit. Grammar wants control and variety. Different qualities, different descriptor rows. What ties them together isn't a single word, it's an instinct. Every choice on the page has to fit what you're trying to say. Here's what happens when inside the marker's head on a Band 6 essay. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Here's what you see. You used advanced words, you built complex sentences, you put in real effort. Every word of that is true. Here's what the examiner sees. Range attempted without fit, complexity without control, real effort pointed at the wrong target. You weren't writing Band 7 words, you were working hard, but in the wrong direction. That's the whole picture. 3 habits from your next practice essay. First, before you use a word, ask if it fits. If it doesn't, change it. That alone pulls half of your overwritten vocabulary out. Second, when a sentence starts carrying two ideas, break it. Complex sentences and structures still count, they just have to fit inside a sentence that closes. Third, write plain first, then upgrade where the meaning actually asks for more weight. Not every word, one or two in a sentence. That's what range really looks like. 3 habits. Take them into your next practice essay. Look for every place you are reaching where you should have been fitting. Band 7 isn't harder words, it's clearer ones. Keep that sentence on the desk next to your practice essays this week. Daily teaching lives on Facebook, IELTS with Ben, quick rewrites on TikTok, same name. That's where this keeps going between Sundays. See you next Sunday. Keep it precise.